So someone keyed me off to a little bit of a quote, and I want to read it, and then I also want to talk about my thoughts and feelings on it. So let me just start off by reading this. He says, "The man is never the winner." So this is something where, like, I was, and I do believe this is true that women do this. They sit around at the finish line and wait for the winners. This is probably a famous Richard Cooper quote. Maybe he got it from Rollo Tomassi's Irrational Male. I don't know, but I always hear Richard Cooper saying that, and I agree with that. Women do that. They wait until you're number one, you're alpha, you're the winner, and then they want you. But when you're struggling, when you're going through your failure phase, or when you're trying and not succeeding, then they don't want anything to do with you. Only when you're winning and you're on top do they want you. But based on that, this is the quote. And I was talking to somebody about that, and the guy, I said to the guy, I said, they wait for the winners and then they choose the winners. And he said, the man is never the winner. And I thought that was a really interesting perspective. The man is never the winner. She might be winning, but the man is never the winner. And he says, this is Briffault's law of relationships, is that they are not designed for the man's benefit, but only endure while the woman can gain something from them. Right? So the relationship is only going as long as the woman can gain something from the man. As for the man, how can he be a winner if he is but a tool for her survival? What a great point. The man's not winning. You might think you're winning. Oh yeah, I'm getting all the pussy. Ha ha. Oh, I got married. Oh great. This is really benefiting me, and now I'm going to have kids. It's really benefiting me. But what you don't realize is that she's using you for her own ends. Right? The man is the tool for her survival. Okay, it's not about love, and I always say this a million times. It's not about love. Men love idealistically, women love opportunistically, right? So he says even the top 10 to 20% are not winners. They might be winners outwardly. They might be winners objectively, financially, whatever, career-wise, whatever. But they are not loved either. They're not really loved. They're lusted after for their attributes that complement a woman's mind today. And this is what I always say, is that women live vicariously through the man's successes, through the lifestyle that he provides and what he can do for her. And it's crazy to me how we just don't talk about that in mainstream society. And it's so obvious as well. It's so obvious. We just give women a pass. It's like, we can't talk about that. Well, it's like, why not? Like, that's a serious thing. If 50% of marriages end in divorce, men are being used. And it's like, why don't we talk about that? The only people who talk about it are the people in the red pill. Like, that's definitely an issue. So he says, they're merely lusted after for their attributes that complement a woman's mind today. Exactly. That's for the lifestyle that he provides. It's for what she wants. She wants her winner to live vicariously through him and through his masculinity and all these things. It's not about loving one man. It's about her own desires and fulfilling those desires. And this is why it's like, when you really see it from that viewpoint, you really shouldn't pine after a woman. You really shouldn't feel sorry for yourself if a woman dumped you, or go through this, emotional existential funk and hell when you get broken up. You get dumped for somebody better than you, because you got to understand, it's not about you. It's about her. It's not that you're inferior than the other guy. It's not that, he's so much better than you. It's just that she's sick. Her nature is solipsistic. Her nature is selfish, narcissistic, whatever word you want to call it, cancerous. She just wants to feed off of her host. And I always use that movie Species as an example, or even Aliens is a good one, where they feed off the host, and from the host they produce babies or whatever. And it's like, it's this sick way of reproducing, and it's just like, you're just a means to an end. And a lot of guys somehow in their minds, and I think it, in a way you could say, quote unquote, that's toxic masculinity when guys do this, but they, in their own way, they somehow self-actualize through that. Oh, I got chosen. I'm the alpha. I'm the man. I'm the one who got her, right? And this is kind of how they self-actualize, or validate themselves as real men, right? But they don't realize that It's not you. It's not because you're special. It's just because you checked off the empty boxes. You just fulfilled her hypergamy. That's all. It's not you. It's what you did. It's your utility. It's what she can use you for. And it's just like, when you really understand that that's how women are, it's really sick. And then you also realize that, well, they use sex to get that. This is why sex is a commodity. This is why sex is not easily gotten by the average man, because they're using sex as a ribbon at the end of the race to say, okay, you won, you get the sex. It's just, that's exactly what it is. And it's like, oh, when you look at it from that viewpoint, it's not about love. It's not about anything special. People maybe dupe themselves into believing that. But again, and I always say this, if you don't have resources, she's not going to love you. If you do not provide the lifestyle that she wants, her quote unquote love, is going to be applied to another guy. She's going to take that to another guy and give it to him, not you, right? So this is bottom line hypergamy. So he goes on to say they may, for the men should know that they're not loved either. They're merely lusted after for their attributes that complement the woman's mind today, and that they may be unseated from their high pedestals based on a woman's ever-changing whim or preference. That's a great point. All of a sudden she doesn't want you anymore because she just changed. All of a sudden she decided that the lifestyle you give her, she wants something different. Oh, you know what? I married this guy and he moved me to New York and we live in this condo and I love it. For the first 5 years. Then maybe after, she's like, oh, I want to move to Italy. I want to go live on the beach in Italy. So she finds some dude that'll do that for her. It's like, that's a great point. It's just their whims are always changing. Her preferences are always changing. Okay, so he goes on to say Johnny Depp, Channing Tatum, even Brad Pitt. All men are just tools for women. Even the alphas are seen and utilized no different than the betas and the cucks. Objectively, there's no female love for a man. That's so brilliant. That is so true, right? Whether you're a beta or you're an alpha, she is still going to use you, right? It's just how she uses you is different, and in what context she's going to use you, right? So he says only lust, tacit acceptance, and contempt. Fuck, marry, kill. Right? For no matter how you love your favorite hammer, as soon as you run out of nails, it becomes a useless tool. And useless men dehumanized and discarded. Useless men are dehumanized and discarded. So only as long as you're useful to her do you matter. And I've said that before in some of my videos. You're only necessary as long as you are useful. You only matter as long as you can do something for her. You are utility. Men are utility. We are a means to an end. He says men are human doings. Only women are considered human beings by society. Great point. Men are human doings. Only women are considered human beings by society. Brilliant point. Brilliant quote. This guy just summed it all up. Awesome. Really awesome. So I'm going to end it there. Appreciate you guys listening. Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.